So Brijesh Patel with you, Division I head strength conditioning coach. I primarily work with basketball and hockey, but here to share with you a little bit about a tip that you can improve yourself immediately from when you're playing defense, especially from a basketball situation, moving laterally, even working on your crossover. This is something it's called shin angles. So we're really trying to talk about the way that you apply force into the ground. If you haven't heard of what a positive shin angle or a negative shin angle is, I'm going to show you. So a positive shin angle is where you have a smaller angle between your foot and your shin. A negative angle is where you're going to have a larger angle between your foot and your shin. And when you need to propel yourself or apply force to be able to move or accelerate yourself, you ideally want to have a positive shin angle. Okay, so if I'm going to run forward, the positive angle that I want is this kind of angle. So you want to push underneath me or slightly behind me so I can accelerate my body forward. If I have my foot come out in front of me, that's going to be more of a negative angle. So this is what you're going to do when you need to decelerate or slow down a little bit more effectively. So when you're working on sprinting and trying to become a little bit more faster, make sure every time you accelerate and you're sprinting that you have a positive shin angle. Because if you start to reach out in front of you, you're actually going to make yourself a little bit slower. So that's a key thing for moving linearly, but to move laterally, it's going to be a little bit more different than most people are taught when they're taught to move and do defensive slides. Common way that most coaches will teach a defensive slide is in this kind of position right here. Feet are out. You're not in an ideal position to apply force. Some people even tell you to open up your front leg so you can kind of pull yourself underneath you. This isn't the most efficient way to move laterally, and so it's not going to be helpful for those people who are probably not the most athletic or they're not the most genetically gifted people. So what I'm going to try to teach you here is when you're doing defensive slides, you're playing pickup, try to work on having a positive shin angle. So what that means is you're going to have to get the weight to the inside part of your feet. So now you can kind of see I have a positive shin angle, so if I wanted to push right or push to my left, I can move a little bit more effectively. So as I push, you're in a positive shin angle, right? And when you recover, you want to be in that same kind of angle too, versus this kind of position out here. So if I'm moving laterally and I'm sliding, you want to be in that kind of position. So your feet aren't going to be turned out so much. They're going to be straight ahead or slightly inward. And if you watch the best people move, if you watch basketball a lot, or even goalies or any kind of sport, the ones who move the best are the ones who have the best shin angles. So when you watch or when you're practicing your sport and practicing defensive slide and trying to become a better defensive player, really work on the position that your body's set up in. The other thing about being in this position too, it's going to be really hard to sprain your ankle. Because the typical way you sprain your ankle is when your weight rolls to the outside part of your feet. If you can keep your weight on the inside part of your feet, you're going to be that much more stable, which is going to help you prevent against ankle injuries at the same time. So common drills you can do is really just a lateral push is what we kind of first start off with. Is just get into a good athletic position and just work on pushing. Can you push? Can you recover? Can you push, recover, and come back to another position? And then what we'll do is we'll just start with one push first, then do 2 pushes, then do 3 pushes, 4 pushes, 5 pushes. Then we go to really start to make it a little bit more specific by going reactionary. So our athletes are going to be up on a line and we can point in different directions, really try to get them to understand how to be in the right position to move much more efficient laterally. So hopefully that's a tip that you can use to try to improve your game right away. Thanks.